Dr. King enters this struggle boldly. He says, violence anywhere is a threat to violence everywhere.
Amen.
And injustice anywhere is a threat to injustice everywhere. Rhetoric inciting violence anywhere is a call to rhetoric to incite violence everywhere. Sarah Palin, Glenn Beck, others in the Tea Party trend claim that political events tied to violence and rhetoric tied to violence are not causing the division in our nation. Tens of thousands of African Americans have been lynched in a sea of rhetoric dripping with racist blood.
Yeah.
Workers have been shot down on the picket line, drummed under by the rhetoric of misaccusations. Students have been shot down protesting for peace under the rhetoric of un-Americanism. Tens of thousands of Native Americans have been annihilated under the rhetoric of white American exceptionalism. We have to act. Dr. King says that courage is the ability to go forward in spite of frightening situations. Cowardness, he says, is a submissive surrender to circumstance. We're asking everyone to ask all of our elected officials at the municipal level, the county level, the state level, the federal government, to pass laws that prohibit the use of rhetoric and actions and campaigns that incite violence.
I think that's enough of that.
Wow.
Holy crap.
Who was that?
That's the director of the Martin Luther King Center in Oakland, who was the keynote speaker at the NonPartisan rally, blaming the Tea Party not only for the murders in Tucson, but tens of thousands of African Americans being lynched, tens of thousands of Native Americans being annihilated, and calling for laws that prohibit, quote, the use of rhetoric that incite violence.
None of these laws will ever be passed either, but there are Congress people out there making hay in their various districts talking about we need to pass laws where you're not allowed to use any language that could possibly be construed as violent. Well, good luck with that constitutionally. I mean, what the hell?
Yeah.
Who comes up with this crap?
It just scares me that, A, anybody would buy that, and B, this guy was the keynote speaker at the allegedly nonpartisan event. That's just shocking. Sarah Palin, Glenn Beck, and others in the Tea Party trend claim that political events tied to violence and rhetoric tied to violence are not causing the division in our nation. Oh, my God.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah, and then, by the way, one final
So that was almost exactly while the president was giving a speech saying we weren't supposed to do that sort of thing.
Right, right. And our emailer goes on to say that he noticed that just after this Roy Wilson guy says the stuff about the Tea Party and the 10,000 African Americans lynched in a sea of violence, the TV camera lights went off and they stopped taping. And he went home and he watched the TV news coverage of the event. And the TV news coverage was that it was a somber and respectful nonpartisan event.
Oh, really?
Now, what's going on there?
Just makes for a better story, I guess. Nicer story.
Wow.